We have got to talk about this book. Hi, hello. Yes, I got some mics because apparently my dog gets the zoomies every time I record content now, and my iPhone mic likes to pick up every single noise that he makes, which is just so lovely. So, here we are. Here's the little goblin himself. All right, you guys. I've been in such a bad reading slump when it comes to fantasy books lately. Ever since I finished Crescent City in the fall, every other like fantasy or romantasy book that I have picked up has just like really disappointed me. So I was scared to say the least to pick up this one. You guys did not disappoint because this was so good, so good. I would say it's a very like medium paced book. You know, the first half took me a little while to get into it, which is normally the case for me, especially with a new series. You know, there's a lot of world building, um, and then by the second half, I was fully invested. I think I finished the second half in like one sitting. Main characters, we have Cerise Fane. Cerise, I think that's how you say her name. Yeah, and Kingfisher. Listen, Kingfisher, I think, has made it to my top 5 book boyfriends. Callie, we need to talk. Why did you name him Kingfisher? I now have to live with the embarrassment of saying that my one of my top 5 book boyfriends' name is Kingfisher. Kingfisher. Are you serious? I was concerned. I really thought that that was going to give me the ick and that I wasn't going to fall for him. I was wrong. He is one of my favorites. I think my book boyfriend list now has got to be number 1, Dorian, obviously. 2, Fisher, Kingfisher, Fisher. 3, Zayden. 4, who's 4? Hunt? Obviously, I have a type, if you couldn't tell. Oh, no, no, no. 4 is Azriel. 5 is Hunt. Yes, obviously. Anyways, Kingfisher is the shadow daddy of this world, Yavalia, and he meets Cerise by, of course, coming to her rescue when she nearly dies after thieving, if that's a word, in her own world, and then accidentally creates a portal that calls to him. She has the magical powers to make the magical relics that will protect Fisher's people from the war. And so it is like a forced proximity trope in which she is forced to work with him to learn how to do that. Now, I will say, I don't know if this was supposed to be the case, but this is definitely not an enemies to lover trope. If anything, this to me read as like a insta lust, um, I hate you, you annoy the shit out of me, but I hate that I'm so attracted to you kind of trope, if you know what I mean. But honestly, I didn't mind it because from what we find out near the end is that they're fated mates. And if there's one thing that I love, it's a fated mate trope above all, honestly. Like, you're telling me that in any universe, every lifetime they find each other, no matter how far across the realms that the gods put each other, they will always find each other and fall in love. That's what I need. Now, we've been saying that we need a good book with some good yearning, and Mr. Fisher himself, he did deliver. There's one thing about me, I've always said, yearn for me or die. I've always said that. Ask my friends. Um, and he yearns, that's for sure, especially near the end when she finds out like the truth about like their fate and you know what's gonna happen to him, like, and he's just so tortured that she like is putting this distance between them. When he does the whole Mr. Darcy thing in that forest, I forgot what the town was called, where he like clenches his hand. Fisher also has some of my favorite quotes. I'll have to read you my number 1. Because she is moonlight, the mist that shrouds the mountains, the bite of electricity in the air before a storm, the smoke that rolls across a battlefield before the killing starts. You have no idea what she is, what she could be. You should call her Majesty. Like, if a man were to go into that much detail to like describe me and we're not even dating. Another thing about this relationship is that I really felt like the smut like was really well done and really well written. If there's one thing that I don't like is when smut is just thrown in there for smut's sake, you know? But I really prefer when it like kind of adds to the depth of the relationship and the relationship arc itself, and that's really what Callie did here. Cerise herself, I adored her. I know that might be a controversial take, but I love a badass FMC. If there's anything about me, she's really giving like Aylin, Bryce vibes, very sarcastic, very witty, but also very like empathetic at her core. We also have the comedic relief, Mr. Carrion Swift himself. I loved him. You're telling me he named his magical sword named Simon? Simon. I really hope that in the future books we get to get hear a little bit more of like his POV and hopefully his own little romance because I just loved him so much. Now let's talk about what I didn't like in the book and why I inevitably took off that half a star. First things first, I know this sounds so silly, but I really hated the cover. I really hate when it's just like a man on the cover of the book. I know there's another edition out there that I've seen that's like a lot cuter, and apparently it's not available in the US right now. And I would much prefer to have that one. I'm like really mad about it, but it's all right. It's all right. There were also just a few like kind of plot holes that I found throughout the story. Like one of the things that kind of bothered me was like in the beginning, Fisher is able to hold Cerise her hand when she's holding the Quicksilver, and because he's wearing his relic, she gets the same protection. But like for some reason, when he goes through the pool, he can't just like be touching someone and that like gives them the protection. He has to actually put the necklace on them, if that makes sense. I don't know if I just like missed that part of the book. If anybody like figured that out, like please let me know. Last thing, the whole zombie vampire thing, not really my vibe, but everything else really like made up for it. So I was able to look past it. So that's all I've got. If you've read it, let me know what you thought of it in the comments. If you are following me for the book talk character psychoanalysis videos, I will be getting back to that soon. I've just been having some other things pop up in my life. You know, my own clients take priority, of course, but we'll be looking forward to maybe doing like a Crescent City series or character next because some of the all ACOTAR girlies are a little bit of a lot. But also, once I finish Onyx Storm, I would love to also do some of those Fourth Wing characters as well. I think that would be a lot of fun. So if you have someone in mind, please leave them in the comments as well.